In the heart of a forgotten jungle stood a tree unlike any other. Year after year, season after season, it remained still bared branches, no leaves, no color. Locals called it the sleeping tree. They thought it had died long ago. But then the elephants came. It began with a single herd, moving slowly, their feet sinking into the wet forest floor. As they approached the silent tree, something changed. Without warning, buds appeared. By morning, the branches shimmered with blossoms bright, fragrant, alive. No one could explain it. But this was no accident. The pattern repeated. Every time the elephants returned, the tree bloomed downly for them. When they left, the petals fell, and the tree returned to its slumber. Scientists tried to understand. Was it vibrations? The pressure of their steps? The moisture from their presence? But no test, no device could measure what was happening. Because this wasn't biology. This was memory, connection, trust. The elders believed the tree remembered that centuries ago, elephants had protected its roots during a fire, and in return, it only opened its soul to them, a bond written not in words, but in silence and earth. But why only the elephants? Why did this tree hold on to this memory across generations, blossoming only for these majestic beings, and keeping its blossom from every other creature? One day, researchers decided to test the tree's response. They placed sensors around the roots, recording every tremor, every change in temperature or humidity. But even as they documented, the elephant approached. Soon, the sensors would detect nothing unusual. Yet the blossoms opened. The data made no sense. Then a young researcher noticed something odd. Every time they came, the elephant herd followed the same path, stepping almost on the exact same spots. She shared her observation with the team leader, who dismissed it as coincidence. But the next day, the research assistant returned to the forest alone. She wanted to walk that path herself, to see what the elephants had seen. She found it fascinating. The forest floor, though muddy, was dotted with elephant dung. Each step she took seemed to echo with their passage from years past. And as she rounded a bend, there it was. The sleeping tree? She didn't expect much. But as she walked under its branches, a petal drifted down, brushing her hand. Startled, she looked up. To her astonishment, the entire tree seemed to shimmer with new life. She raced back to the camp, her heart pounding. She had to tell someone. She woke the team leader, bursting with excitement. "I found it," she whispered urgently. "The exact path. The tree blooms for me too." They rushed to the forest, but now the sun was rising, painting the sky with hues of gold and rose. They reached the tree, but its branches were bare, not a blossom in sight. Disappointment settled over them. Had they been wrong? Was the tree's response a fluke? Something that wouldn't happen again? As they stood there, the elephant herd arrived, following the same path as before. The researcher felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they weren't too late. She watched, mesmerized, as the first buds appeared, then burst into bloom. The air filled with the sweet fragrance of 1,000 blossoms. The team leader was speechless. He looked at the researcher, his face a mixture of awe and disbelief. In that moment, they knew they had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. And so, news spread about the tree that bloomed only for elephants. People from far and wide came to witness this wonder. They stood beneath its branches, hoping for a glimpse of its magic. But the tree remained silent, its blossoms hidden. Only the elephants could coax the tree into light. Only they could hear the song it hummed in its sleep. And they returned every year, guided by an ancient memory, their steps a silent symphony on the forest floor. Then one day, a younger herd approached the tree. The elephants moved closer, their tusks gleaming in the dappled sunlight. But the tree remained still. Not a single bud appeared. The elephants trumpeted softly, their voices echoing through the forest. But the tree didn't respond. Days turned into weeks, and still the tree offered no blooms. The elephants grew restless. They circled the tree, their anxiety growing. Finally, the old matriarch of the nearby herd approached the tree. She placed her trunk on the rough bark and closed her eyes. As she stood there, the first buds appeared, unfurling into delicate blossoms. The air filled with their sweet fragrance, and the elephants trumpeted in delight. This wasn't just about blossoms. It was about connection, about trust, about an understanding that transcended words. So whenever the elephants came, they brought with them the echoes of their ancestors, their footsteps a language older than time. The tree listened, its roots humming in response, and in its silence, it blossomed. Then one day, a curious visitor approached the tree. He wasn't an elephant, but a man who had heard tales of the tree's magic. He walked slowly, his eyes searching the branches. He saw no blooms, but he felt a strange pull, a sense of peace he couldn't explain. As he stood there, he noticed a small sprout pushing through the soil, unfurling a tender leaf towards the sun. In that instant, he understood. The tree didn't just bloom for elephants. It bloomed for all beings, not in grand displays, but in quiet, subtle ways. He sat down at the base of the tree, resting his back against its rough bark. As the sun warmed his skin, he felt a connection to the earth, to the tree, and to the elephants who revered it. He realized that the tree's magic wasn't just in its blossoms, but in the memories it held, the stories it whispered, and the reverence it inspired. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply, and in the rustle of the leaves, he heard a story unfold. A tale of elephants and trees, of bonds that transcended time, and of a forest that whispered its secrets to those who listened. Some say the tree's blossoms appear only for those who believe, who have faith in the unseen connections that bind all living things. They say if you stand beneath the tree with an open heart, you might just witness the magic for yourself. But whether you believe or not, one thing is certain. The tree stands silent and strong, its roots reaching deep into the earth, its branches reaching high into the sky, and in its silence, it continues to whisper its ancient wisdom to all who wander by. And as the sun sets over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of purple and red, the elephants return. They walk slowly, their footsteps echoing through the forest, their eyes fixed on the distant tree. They know the tree will not bloom for them tonight, but they walk on, drawn by an ancient memory, a silent promise, a bond that echoes through the ages. The tree sleeps now, its blossoms tucked away for another day, but the memory of their fragrance lingers in the air. And as the moon rises high above the trees, the elephants gather at its base, sharing stories and memories of their ancestors, of the tree that bloomed only for them. And in their stories, the tree lives on, a silent witness to the passage of time, a symbol of the enduring power of memory and the quiet strength of the natural world. Here in the heart of the jungle, under the watchful gaze of ancient trees, a remarkable bond unfolds. Elephants and trees intertwined in a silent conversation that echoes through the ages. When the elephants come, the trees welcome them with open arms, their branches swaying in greeting, their leaves rustling stories of ages past. The elephants, in turn, respond with a gentle touch, their tusks tracing patterns on the bark, their footsteps drumming rhythms on the forest floor. But it's more than just a meeting. It's a communion of souls, a shared history etched in the rings of trees and the wrinkles of elephants' skin. For these majestic creatures, trees are more than just plants. They are companions, confidants, and keepers of ancient wisdom. When an elephant approaches a tree, it doesn't just see wood and leaves. It senses the spirit within, the heartbeat of the forest that connects all living things. The elephants communicate with the trees through a language older than words, a language of touch, scent, and sound. Their trunks, as sensitive as fingertips, caress the bark, feeling the pulse of the tree, the tremors that speak of life deep within. Their ears, attuned to the whispers of the wind, listen for the tree's rustling secrets, the stories it has to tell. And when the elephants trumpet, their calls reverberate through the forest, echoing the tree's own silent language. The trees, in turn, respond in kind, rustling their leaves in acknowledgement, swaying their branches in greeting. In this intricate dance, the elephants and the trees share their wisdom, their experiences, their very essence. The elephants, with their deep connection to the earth, teach the trees about the changing seasons, the wandering herds, and the cycles of life. The trees, in return, offer the elephants solace and shade, nourishment and protection. This bond is not just a product of nature, it's a testament to the interconnectedness of all living things, a reminder that we are all part of a greater whole. It's a call to listen more deeply, to feel more keenly, and to connect more profoundly with the world around us. In the heart of the jungle, where the elephants and trees embrace, we find a profound truth. It's not just the elephants who bloom when the tree opens, it's soul. All of us, in our own ways, blossom in the presence of nature's embrace.